Hi everybody and welcome to week 7 of Art at Home. Today is a very special week because today we're drawing animals. This is my cat, Katie Cat, and she will be the star of my show today because I'm going to be drawing her if I can get her to hold still or to fall asleep. So if you can get your pet to hold still, you can draw your pet too. So we'll see you in a little bit and we will draw your pet or favorite animal for week 7 Art at Home. Hi everybody and welcome to Art at Home Week 7. It's Mrs. Bojack and our theme today is animals. One of our most famous American artists is Deborah Butterfield. She is still living and creating beautiful horses made from metal and other recycled materials. At the Toledo Museum of Art, we actually have one of her sculptures. Its name is Second Daughter, and it is in the outside sculpture garden. The other famous American artist is John James Audubon, and you will see 3 of his very beautiful paintings of birds behind me. He lived in the early 1800s, and he traveled North America, painting all the birds that he could find. When we look at one of Deborah Butterfield's horses, we'll notice that you can kind of break it down into simple geometric shapes. Circles, squares, rectangles, triangles. So if you think of an animal in that way, it makes it a little bit easier to draw. Now, there are 2 different ways that you can draw your animal today. And the first way is a sketch of an animal, a giraffe, that I made. And it is done with just a regular pencil, and I shaded it in. The other technique you can use today is contour. Contour is a way of drawing that most illustrators and cartoonists use to make their art. And it's a simple outline around the outside with black Sharpie or marker, and then you color it in with bright colors. Now what you're going to need today, paper, pencil, and an eraser. You're going to need a Sharpie marker if you want to outline. And I'm going to use colored pencil today to add a little bit of color. Let's start to draw. So to draw our animal today, you need something to start with. You might find a picture online on your computer, or again, if you have a pet, you can try to get it to sit still long enough so you can draw it. It's really hard to draw from memory, so I would definitely, for this assignment, have a picture in front of you before you start. If we look again at Deborah Butterfield's work, we can see that it's broken down into simple shapes. So I'm going to remember that when I start to work on my drawing right now. Now, I decided to work on one of my favorite animals, which is a camel. Now, when I look at my paper, I want to start out with the shape of the camel, which is an oval, and then its rump, which is another oval. It's got a nice curvy neck, which is kind of a rectangle, but it's a little curved. Now, for the shape of my camel's face, it looks kind of like a triangle or a Dixie cup. The legs for my camel, are kind of rectangles and triangles. And the ones that you see behind, you have to draw them. And it might just be a shadow image of the one in front of you. That might make it easier. And a tail. Now that I have my camel drawn and sketched, I can go ahead and I can either shade it with a pencil or I can color it in with colored pencil. So my camel is done, and you notice that I also blended my colors and I added some background. And I also added a little bit of shadow or shading so you can tell where your light's coming from. If you decided not to add color, you can shade the whole thing with black and white like I've done here. If you decide you'd rather try a different animal, I decided to draw my kitty cat, and I finally got her to sit nice and still looking out the window. And I got her from the back view, which was kind of interesting. So it can be realistic or not realistic. Very easy way to make a cat. You start with a U, and then you add 2 pointed ears, two eyes, nose. Those are your straight rectangles. Then the back is like a big bump. Curls around here, and then you can add a tail, and your tail can go back this way in the background. I'm going to make my tail curl around like my cat's does when she's sitting still. A nice horizon line, so it looks like the cat's sitting down. Now my kitty is white, but if your kitty is brown or black, you can add other colors to it. If it gets too dark, you can lighten it up with your eraser. And if you want to, you can add a little bit of color, maybe a tongue, some little toenails.